I eventually need to get an actual setup a little bit. Maybe on the other side of the room. I have some lights over there. Look a little better. Regardless, yeah, no real outline for today. Let me just start. I'm an hour into a Zone 2 ride. Just recovery day, basically. Guess I'll probably post this to Instagram as well. Lead anyone that follows that, see like the YouTube videos I'm hopefully gonna get a little more consistent with. But kind of just yapping about whatever. So I'll start with a training plan, if anyone's come from Instagram. Right now, I'm doing a turkey trot on Thanksgiving. It's not serious, but I'm gonna take it seriously and see how fast of a 5K I can run. I should be able to get at like a good effort if I am recovered going into it, like a 19:30, and that'd be pretty cool. Just touching sub 20 would be great, because that's basically my PR. Over the summer I ran like a 20 flat on a treadmill, and anytime I do like a time distance on a treadmill, I know it's not the same as going outside, but I do an extra 0.1, so a 1/10 of a mile, because I use that time to speed up to what I'm doing. So like when I was doing the speed workout yesterday, it was the same thing. I did the minute rest, and I put the speed like 9.3 to run like a 6. I think it was like 6:38 or something, and then I kept like the last one I kept speeding up, so it was probably like around 6:30. But yeah, I use that 0.1 to speed up, and that's from where I track the time that I'm actually doing. So it's a little more work, but not as much just off the gun going like it would be on a track. But what can you do? Like that's what I'm saying. Free idea for Garmin. Make a treadmill that you can just upload your workouts to. Like I can use the app, put on my watch, and it's great for on the track. But when it's 30 degrees out, I don't feel like getting up before the high schoolers. Yeah, I'm gonna be using the treadmill a little bit more. But besides that, I've been kind of inconsistent with boxing, but I have class 5 days a week. I've been working like 3 days a week consistently for the past few months, but the past month I've been working 4 or 5, so it's been a lot. Hard to do everything, but I'm keeping up with at least like 2 lifts a week, just full body. Really, the only things I really care about is some overhead press, some pull-ups, just keeping that kind of strength. And I've realized for legs, it's really hard to really train legs while running and boxing. It's hard while running once I got up into like 50-mile weeks. Like lifting became supplemental, not anything I was actually like focused on progressing. It's just keeping a nice level of strength. But recently I've been doing just a bunch of volume of body weight leg exercises, just lunging around and side lunges, and so far so good. Not that much delayed onset muscle fatigue, soreness. It's not too bad, but it's functional. It's more similar to like movement while boxing. Like I'm lunging down side to side and just getting my body to experience the stimulus that it's gonna have, so it's adapting to that to actually box. But yeah, I've kind of realized I do already miss the serious running. So although like I am gonna box and probably compete again in the Golden Gloves tournament, but I'm gonna really start building up the running volume again. And that's partly why I'm biking now. I've been biking a lot more and consistently, so it's just building up my aerobic base. But you still need to translate it to like be able to build up what your joints and body's actually able to handle from impact. But like I could still make a ton of progress from what I am a little used to. So like today, like a 2-hour run would like destroy me, and I wouldn't be able to run for the week, even if it was super easy. Or like this, like I can do this, maintain that as I transition slowly building up the volume into actually running. So that's what I'm doing now. I guess one topic I find really interesting that I wrote down. I started a notes app of just things to yap about for this, which is like the whole point of what I want to do. Again, would like to have guests, like really just my friends, just some of the good conversations we have. Just being intelligent about things that aren't typically considered worth being intelligent about, but like what isn't. Everything in this life is incredible. And start that, I mean, love movies, love reading books and stuff. And power scaling is usually a thing only typically used for anime or comics and like superhero characters, like fighting stuff. But like every piece of media, every story, you can power scale. Like Tony Soprano is more powerful than anyone else in the mob family. They have to listen to him. He could kill people with just a few words. Like, that's not nothing. And if you just imagine that as a literal power, like, yeah, it's not some character that's shooting some fireballs or casting spells on people. But like it's just as powerful to be able to say something and have something happen to someone else. And I find that very interesting, because then it gets more intricate than that. There's characters that might not seem powerful, but are really the ones that understand the whole system itself, and maybe not be able to say things to cause things to happen, which is like power is really influence and control. It's really all you can break it down into. It's like actually like imposing your will to cause things to happen. I'd say another good character resembling that, is it Viserys or Varys from Game of Thrones? The eunuch. He never sits on the throne. He's not the most powerful character in the show, but he's the one that understands most of what's going on, and most characters don't understand what's going on at all. And not even just from lying, but his decision to withhold information is just as powerful. Like, things that happen are just as important as the things chosen not to happen, or things that are said. It's like, I mean, it's like show don't tell, like the concept of, like, you're watching something and it makes great filmmaking, great storytelling, when, yeah, you say all the stuff, you're setting up the plot, the characters are talking about whatever, but then the actual thing that like is so significant, it's like the character's not even realizing, but the camera pans and you see the serial killer outside if it's a horror movie, or like you see like a huge, I mean, it's like almost a motif at this part in like relationship tension movies, or it's like a really terrible relationship, is you see the characters either on the phone or like on other side of the same wall actually, and they're like saying one thing and then doing something else. And that's like power scaling in terms of, it's like, oh, like does Goku beat Superman or something? Like, yeah, it's interesting and fun to think about their literal abilities, especially when there's characters that have some like out there things that they're able to do, like powers of like a pocket dimension or some type of irregular time manipulation or stuff like that. It's all very interesting. But even just characters that live in a much more real world, sometimes it's just the information that they decide to give equal to the amount of information they decide not to, and the consequence of that. And it's even more fascinating when you realize that's how the real world works too. we have politics. It's business of power. Like, it's literally what it is. And all of what I just said applies. There's people in positions that are like what it's supposed to be, especially, I mean, using America as an example. I've always lived in America. The idea of what it could be, and what it should be, and what it's supposed to be is pretty great. Like, people that are elected are supposed to be representatives of the people, and there should be no disconnect between what the people, like the voters, want and their will and the things that they want to see happen, and what the politician literally does. Like, obviously that's not the case, and it's not like politicians' job is to serve their voters. It's not like their job and to have voters, which is how it's what it's become. But the same thing of like all of the things that they have influence over, and whatever legislature that they have control, and like the things that they're able to do, is the amount that they decide to do and the amount that they say that they are doing is equal to what they decide not to do and the things that they withhold. It's not a movie. Yeah, there's no camera panning. But if you don't actually understand each part of the conversations that we were never a part of, each part of the documents and the things going on, and everything leading to the decisions being made, then there's people that have even more power than they should because of their ability to like induct their power, that like they're doing decisions and withholding their reasons why. And it's not great. I mean, I can't go down that rabbit hole too much, but yeah. What else I have? I mean, power skill. I could still just go on. I could talk about like the fun stuff too. There's who are some like common characters? I guess like Marvel. It's like, who would win in a fight? Batman or Iron Man? And even I have a workout like plan. I just pressed one because it was a long one. I wanted to like see something. There's this dude biking around Japan, but it's like supposed to follow the actual course, so it just keeps adjusting the resistance. It's kind of annoying, but regardless, it's so interesting to see how immediate and powerful people's beliefs are in things that are seemingly unimportant. But I don't think there's anything that's not worth thinking about. Like, if it existed, okay, no. There's nothing that's true that's not worth thinking about. If it's a lie, if it's a manipulation, maybe not so much. But if it's something that exists, if it grew from something, if it's more than what it was, it's there. And it's there for a reason. Now, it might not be as much of a reason as some other things, but it's not nothing. And in the same way that there's just, like, if there's a TikTok or an Instagram post, it's like, who would win a fight, Batman or Iron Man? You would immediately have comments. Like, I mean, if it got views, it would immediately have comments on both sides with thorough explanations as to why. And a lot of it would be right for both sides. Like, there's no argument that's objective. Or there's no one side to an argument that's completely right. if it's like if it's on a matter between two things, again, that are true. If it's between a truth and a lie, then yeah, the truth is right. And if it's honest, and if it's calling out fraud or something that like isn't actually what it is, and it becomes difficult to discern that, as people become very good liars, or very bad liars, however you want to see it. But yeah, because people could argue how Batman has defeated characters that are as powerful as gods, or aliens that have taken over entire universes and stuff, and all of that. I'm not that familiar with comics. I've read Batman Year One graphic novel and watched movies, but I haven't really dove deep into actual comics. Whereas Iron Man is typically the opposite. He makes himself as powerful. Oh, I didn't really explain that. Batman typically defeats these beings by figuring out a way to make them as weak as a man, and then he is like the perfect, like, I mean, that's a crazy thing to say. He's like the most skilled fighter, like, he's basically superhuman, but technically not superhuman. But he just makes something impossible doable, and then wins. Whereas Iron Man is kind of the opposite, at least from what I've come to understand, that he makes himself as powerful as he needs to be. He makes a suit, makes some piece of technology to overcome it. So, I mean, it's really just unstoppable force, immovable object. Which ties into the essence of what I was kind of just saying, like, to sum it all up. Stories can just be stories, and they can also be so much more. Like me just bringing that up, unstoppable force, immovable object. I couldn't even tell you the origin of that. But it's been around. Obviously, it's been referred to often, and there are things there are pieces of literature and things written that are more than just words on a page. I mean, obviously you can imagine all that happens. You read a good novel, you watch it all, you love the characters, and it's all of that. But beyond that, there's things that happen that are eternally real. Like, they're more real than if it were to just happen. Like, yeah, you're reading, so I mean, yeah, like Batman and Iron Man, a character who does what they can in a seemingly impossible situation, one step at a time. Like Iron Man, I'll use the movie as reference because I can't speak pretending to be an expert on the comics, but literally in a cave with a box full of scraps, as his boss puts, plans to get out. And yeah, none of us are that technologically advanced to build a suit capable of doing that. But that's not the essence of what the story is. It's triumph, it's relentlessness, it's accepting, like, he doesn't actually think it's gonna work most of the time. He's joking about how it probably won't, and he does it anyway. And that's something so much more powerful than just the story itself. Like, yes, there is this story, and it's awesome. I love the Marvel movies. I think all the way, like, Iron Man to Endgame is like it's hard to describe. It's hard to put into words. It was incredible. It was a huge part of my upbringing, and I'm literally fiscally the greatest franchise in cinema ever, and it's gonna be, might be a while before that's topped. I think it would be very difficult to get like that broad of a population to watch that many movies with one overarching story. Which, speaking to that, the overarching story coming all the way back from Iron Man and through Endgame, spoiler warning, is that of self-sacrifice. Like, for the greater good. There's no other way, like literally 1 in the 14 million or whatever Doctor Strange said. There's only one way they actually come out on top of beating Thanos, and they needed to lose to even get there. What ended up happening, Thanos winning, and then them eventually winning, was that one chance. Like, it's not like they failed and then they won. Failing was part of it. That just parallels like Iron Man 1. In a situation seemingly impossible, like you're literally in a cave building a bomb for terrorists, and they'll kill you if you don't. Don't really know anyone's life I've ever met that's comparable, but we can have like there's no emotion that any person's had that's different than every emotion we've already felt. Like, once you've hit puberty, you've experienced all the feelings. Not to the extent of some people, or with behavioral and mental disorders, their illnesses are just extreme versions of those feelings, but the feelings aren't different. Like, we have a little bit of each of them, and it's supposed to just flow around. And yeah, like, you can be a little happier, like, more consistently if you give yourself opportunity to, but it's unrealistic to expect that to be a constant, because it never will be. Emotions aren't something we can hold on to. But doing what matters and what's, like, honestly the best possible thing you can do might, like, and as you see through the Marvel movies, it might be the hardest thing ever. You might actually lose everything trying to do it. But eventually, if you're altruistic, if you're self-sacrificing, if you do it for those who you love, it works. It's what's supposed to happen. And it's the only way that it can. And that's something that transcends the story. It's not just a story that didn't exist. The essence of the story has always existed. Because it's also not, like, that's not only the case in Marvel. Like, that's a trope. Lord of the Rings, like Luke Skywalker throws his lightsaber away and just gets beaten up. Like, literally, there's truths that are written on all of our hearts that transcend time. And yeah, there's individual stories that are incredible and beautiful and worthwhile just experiencing those moments pieced together in a film or book or movie. But the essence of what's really there is so much more than just what you're seeing. It's not just what you can feel, it's what you can be. And yeah, that's a good way to wrap it up. About the same length. Yeah, have a good one.